Good morning, late morning, little hoes. My name is Kristen and welcome back to my channel. So, I did not do a video last week because it was Thanksgiving and that's my family's personal favorite holiday. I decided to take a little break and return the following week, and I'm glad I did. I feel refreshed and a little bit more inspired. So, today I thought, first of all, I'm sure we all want to address the elephant in the room. And I don't mean me gaining 5 pounds at Thanksgiving. It's the smell in here. I have been doing a lot of chores this morning. The bathroom smells like bleach from wiping down the shower walls. And the rest of my house smells like fish fertilizer because me, in my infinite wisdom, decided that I should fertilize everyone with fish fertilizer and then film a video instead of, evacuating the house for the afternoon. So if you see me pass out, you will know that fish fertilizer and bleach do not mix. Also, if you see me dart to the bathroom, it's because I have to poop, because I've had quite a bit of coffee, and that tends to, stimulate things, tends to lubricate the poop luge. Also want to mention I am hoping to come out with another fun video really soon. I might do 2 videos this week. Why is this not focusing? Today's video is going to be a little bit of what would you do and getting to know you, because last week we did not last week, but the previous week we did a video talking a little bit about myself, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to get to know you guys and maybe have you answer some of the questions that I brought up, and we'll have a little chat. I am also a twitchy person, I noticed, so I thought I would be somewhat productive as I talked and clean up a few plants that really need it. I have a Phlebodium aureum and one of the Plumosa asparagus ferns down here, which have gotten a lot of dead, dry bits on them lately, and that's kind of to be expected in winter. They do love humidity, and I just cannot provide adequate humidity for them, so they tend to drop a lot of foliage, but they tend to perk back up eventually come spring. There's also the thingy-mabopper. It's the starfish cactus or dragonflower or whatever it is. It's not a hernia. Stapelia. I believe it's a stapelia. That will not let go of its mealybugs. I have used the granular systemic methotrexate. I have used an Endol, which has multiple things in it to try and suffocate, kill, eradicate the mealies, and they won't quit. So I really don't want to repot it right now. So I'm gonna get my trusty rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips and just try and squash all of the bugs I see, and maybe do another systemic on it. And we'll see if we can get it eradicated. First, the Phlebodium. Had this guy for a couple years. He's really cool, and he is one of the easier ones for me to grow. I haven't had super great luck with ferns just because of my lack of humidity. Trash can is helpful. I also have my notes over here so I can try and stay somewhat on topic. So my first question is kind of a go big or go home. Do you guys like to start out with small plants, or do you like to buy big right out of the gate, right off the bat? Yeah, all those. I think a lot of people, especially plant people that buy quite a lot quite frequently, will agree it gets pretty expensive, and I am not made of money. I make minimum wage, even though I deserve more. And I cannot afford to buy super large plants, oftentimes because they are much more expensive than starting small. And I do like watching them grow, and just because space is at a premium in my house, I think it works out well because I have a lot more space for a lot of little things versus a few big things. I think everyone will agree to that. But recently, I have been thinking that there are some plants that I feel I do better with buying big, and that is going to be Hoyas. I can't really think of anything else at the moment, but yeah. Hoyas I've been having trouble with. I have more difficulty growing the small ones, but I seem to do just fine with some of the larger specimens. I feel like once they're a little bit more established, they're a little bit hardier. I think I mentioned in another video too that some plants I've found lately, they go from being like bone dry and looking like they need water to suddenly overwatered, and a lot of those seem to be my Hoyas. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong. I feel that they do like to dry out between waterings, but if I tend to water them, they just get oversaturated, and I don't know if it's the lack of light in winter or whatnot, but then they just start to get root rot suddenly and die. I'm thinking that any Hoyas I buy, I'm not going to necessarily start with a cutting or plug if I can help it, but maybe a one size up from there, even if it is a little bit more expensive, because I am having trouble growing Hoyas, and I shouldn't. I don't know if maybe more light would be beneficial for them. Two, it's very possible. And I try and put them in a nice bright spot, but the sunroom is freaking crowded. Which brings me to my next point. The reason we're doing it in this filming in the kitchen is because my sunroom is so cluttered right now, and I know I should clean it. But there have been so many plants that I've noticed just start to fail suddenly, and I know that they need more sunlight, and the sunroom is pretty much the only place that gets really decent light. I was going to say really good, but really decent light, even in the winter. So I've moved a whole bunch of things in there. There's not much sitting room. There's really not much elbow room to do any sort of activities. So kitchen counter it shall be. Alrighty. So this is Mr. Phlebodium now. Looking a little less Gnarls Berkeley. All the dead in there. So yeah, I'm gonna put this guy aside, and we'll start on the other. Also, do you like my bear shirt? So again, what do you guys like to do? Do you like to start small, start large? The longer I start to garden, the more I feel like there's certain plants that I would rather buy big, and I think, like I said, Hoyas are one of them. If I ever am lucky enough to own my own property, my own house, I definitely think trees are another one. Yes, they are more expensive, but when you think of how long some of them take to grow, depending on what you get, I mean, maples grow like weeds, but other slower growing trees, I would definitely start bigger with that. Next question. Do you guys have a preference on where you purchase your plants from? Do you like to purchase small local business? Do you order primarily online? Or do you like to go to the box stores, or a combination of all three of those? I know people have strong opinions about buying local, and as someone that... Oh, these are tough stems. As someone that has worked local retail businesses for most of my jobs, I do understand the importance of supporting your local businesses and keeping them operational, especially in tough times when people are really trying to watch every dollar. I get that a lot. But I really, oh crap. Cut out a pretty one. Okay, I'm a little frustrated with myself when I do this. Fine. I understand the importance of that, and I totally agree. You should definitely keep some of these little treasure stores in business. But I definitely don't fault anyone for going to the box stores. My friend, she worked in the nursery in a box store for a number of years. She met her husband there, and he still works at a box store. I've known many people that do, so I appreciate the fact that they can offer employment to so many people who really need it. And I don't feel bad buying from box stores. There's some things that, you just can't really find in the box stores that obviously you will have to find at a more specialty shop or online. But there's certain things that I can't get behind spending an exorbitant amount for something that you could easily find in the box store. Oh my god. Wish you could all see the little ferny debris from this. It fucking looks like someone shaved their pubes all over my counter right now. Those are very short hairs though. But I don't fault anyone for buying from the box store. I certainly do. And I found some really nice specimen plants. Some specimen cacti specifically. Especially from Altman Plants that would probably be $50, $60, but are really only in the 20s, 30s at box stores. Oh, got a whiff of fish fertilizer from this guy. Ooh. Online ordering, do you guys do it frequently, rarely, and where do you like to order your plants from? I have been getting into more mail order this past year. Release. Just because there's some really, oh my god, it's everywhere. Freaking sweep again, just because there's some very rare things that I want but am not able to always find locally or locally for a good price. I think you guys will know from my other plant videos that I have a really great plant grower locally, the Plant Farm, that has been growing quite a few rare specimens and having them for sale, but they are in some circumstances really out of my price range. I've gotten a few things from Etsy and I'm really pleased with them. And I had a bad experience with one of the sellers and they were very quick to resolve it. So I feel very confident in buying more plants from Etsy. Supporting some of the small little growers there. And I do want to try out a few other places this coming spring. I want to order from New Life Tropicals, which Angie at Angie's Jungle House did an unboxing, and they looked pretty decent. I think I might do it in the spring, and just because they come from Thailand, so they might take a number of weeks. Pepper's Greenhouse, I think it was, had some cool stuff. I know Pam over at Pam's Pretty Plants got a really cool silvery, I believe a Hastatum philodendron, and there's some other cool stuff on there. I'd buy from Eldon again. So there's a number of places that I definitely want to try out or try again this spring. So I'd love to hear some of your favorite online sites. But yeah, what do you like to do? Do you guys have a preference on where you buy your plants from, or do you kind of mix it up, and it depends on what you get. I feel like I could keep going with this guy, but in reality, there's not a whole lot more to cut. I'll just keep going. Another question. Do you guys ever knowingly buy plants that have a pest or disease on them? And where do you draw the line? At what pest or what disease do you say, absolutely not, I won't buy you? Or do you pass up any plant if it looks like it's not doing well or might have some buggeroos on it? I will possibly buy something with mealybugs, just because I have an explosion of mealybugs. Why not add to it, right? It's not impossible to treat it, and as long as it's not just coated in mealybugs, then I feel like I could have a chance. So if it's something very special, very rare, not coated in mealybugs, I will take it home. Spider mites and scale is kind of where I draw the line. I absolutely will never, ever knowingly buy something with scale. That is an absolute tough one to get rid of. As is spider mites. There's a few spider mite magnets that I have, and I swear I am going to get rid of them this year. It's going to happen. If they don't make a turnaround, I'm tired of babying them and spraying them. I hate spider mites. I hate scale more though. So that's where I draw the line. I am slightly terrified of fungal issues in general, just because I dealt with anthracnose in my parents' garden, and it's really frustrating disease. So I don't tend to buy things knowing that they have a fungal issue. I did buy one philodendron. I think it was like a deja vu or something of that nature. It was just a little 4-inch plant, and I didn't realize, well, I did realize it had some like black mold or fungus on it, and it did eventually die. I don't know if it was entirely from that or a combination of that and lack of light. I think you guys will remember when I did another video where I got the aberrant form Philodendron rugosum. I did not realize that it had the same fungus on it. I probably wouldn't have got it knowing that it had that, but I have, I think, nuked it, knock on wood. I did a sulfur spray for several weeks running, and I've kept it in the sunroom where there's a lot of sunlight, and hopefully that just baked to oblivion all the mold and fungus. So here's this guy. I do have some more yellow on him, but I think if I just try and keep up with the watering. So pretty. If I just try and keep up with the watering a little bit better, it will do fine, but it's somewhat near an air vent, so it dries out easily. I'm gonna take this guy to the other room. Oh my god, there's such a mess in here. My fingers smell like fish fertilizer. Oh my god, did you see that? I lost a tail, guys. I love this plant, but it is absolutely a magnet for mealybugs. So, we shall go through and try and get rid of them. So the next question is, do you guys both indoor and outdoor garden, or do you primarily do one or the other? And why is that? I started out with outdoor gardening, as you guys will know from my last video. Started out with the outdoor gardening and did that for a number of years. I do love outdoor gardening, but just because of my change in living situation, god damn, that's bright. I'm gonna shut that. But because of my change in living situation, where I am living now, the outdoors are pretty much all landscaped. I don't have much room. And I also feel that indoor gardening is a little bit more forgiving. I pretty much can forget about plants except for watering during the summer months. Oh my god, I keep flicking them off. That's disappointing. Aside from the watering, I can kind of forget about my plants. And outdoor gardening does require, in my opinion, a lot more care, especially during the summer months. So I appreciate that, just because I like to, go swimming, go hiking. I say I like to go hiking, but in reality, it's most often just hammocking. But I don't like to have to come home from work and do a ton more gardening and plant care. I'm just kind of burnt out from the day I spend doing the same thing, watering, tending plants at the nursery. So I, for right now, am only doing indoor gardening. I don't really have the space outside to do what I would like. Aside from my veggie garden, which did pretty well, got overrun by weeds by the end of the summer, but whatever. It produced a ton of tomatoes and zucchini, some cucumbers, lettuce. I heard a slight snap, that scares me. But I do enjoy doing both, and eventually I would like to be able to do outdoor gardening again, get some perennials that I love and have loved to collect. Keep hearing slight snaps and get a little freaked out that I've broken one off again. But what do you guys do? Do you have the ability to indoor and outdoor garden, one or the other? Did you start with one and sort of move over to another genre? Next question, what is your favorite and least favorite garden or plant chore? And this could go, either indoor or outdoor. What's your favorite and least favorite? I don't mind watering. And it just sometimes gets a lot when it's really hot out in the summer, or when it's really dry heat from the air vents constantly in winter months. I don't mind it, but again, it gets a little overwhelming. I like to repot things. I think that's really fun. That's kind of something I can zone out to and just bang out a few different planters at a time. I try and collect things that I need to pot and pot a bunch of things at once. I do enjoy that. I don't like general care for a lot of things, including getting rid of bugs, because it just makes me a little bit violent, which I know, direct the violence at the bugs, Kristen, which I do, but it just pisses me off. And then I get annoyed at myself, like, Kristen, why did you let it get this bad? Why haven't you been checking more? And sometimes I just forget. So shame on me, whatever. 'Tis what it is. But what are some of your guys' favorite and least favorite garden chores? Battles and challenges, and a little bit more in depth. What are some of the things that you find most challenging, including what pests do you have the most of and or find difficult to get rid of? Also, what other challenges of growing plants have you faced, just based either on your region or your, indoor situation, what's working, what's not. So for me, I think you guys will know by now, mealybugs are my personal hell. They explode a couple times per year in population. Winter, and no, they're always bad. I'll just put it that way. But the worst times are probably in summer and then again in winter. That's my personal hell. I hate mealybugs. Also, lack of humidity, especially in winter. I'm gonna have to get a few more humidifiers, I think, and I might end up putting it a few other places in the house, maybe one in the sunroom, even though Most of the plants in there are okay without a tremendous amount of humidity. I'm also going to put out a few more bowls of water, I think. But that is my video for right now. I'm going to think about filming a second one, which is going to be really fun. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I'd love to hear your comments and what you think about all of these. And I think that's about it. Dingle, 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 dingle. Dingle, dingle, dingle. Dingle, dingle. Dingle, dingle. Dingle, dingle. But yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye!